While majority of women choose to get married and have children, Taruri Gatere is choosing to speak her truth and is as simple as she does not want children. She insists that no judgment, shame, name calling and exclusion will make her change her mind. Taruri Gatere, yes. How are you?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
I love your name.
Thank you.
And you're the woman who has set tongues rolling everywhere because simply you do not want kids.
It's interesting because I find that people want this big reason as to why I don't want kids, but for me it's just as simple as I don't want them. Like, you know how you know that you want to achieve a certain goal in your life?
Yeah.
It's just that for me, kids does not feature in the goals that I have for my life. I don't feel a maternal instinct. I think it happened slowly. Maybe there's a part of me that always knew, but then the time when I really started to admit it to myself was in my 20s, probably mid to late 20s. I'm in my early 30s now. It was during the journey of trying to understand who I am in the world and what my principles are and what my dreams are. I just allowed myself to be able to see how I wanted to create my life, and that's when I realized I actually don't want kids.
It's funny because most people, especially females, would consider having kids, you know, the climax of their life.
Exactly.
And you're here. Is it that you hate kids?
No.
Or you're just like, I can't deal with kids?
No, I wish. Listen, the funny thing is I'm an aunt to 3 beautiful children and I love them so much. I love spending time with them, I love playing with them, I love talking to them. So it's not a thing of hating kids, and it's not that, because I've taken care of my nieces, especially like my oldest niece, like I basically helped to raise her. So yeah, it's not about the kids themselves, it's about my own internal desire. Yeah.
Have you ever encountered a situation where you are dating someone and then you guys just broke up because he wants kids and you don't want kids?
There has been a situation where someone wanted us to be in a relationship and he wanted kids and I don't. And I told him, we can't do this because it's not like you can compromise. Like, let's have a baby or, you know, a part-time baby, like that doesn't work. It's either you have the baby or you don't. So I just had to tell him we're not compatible because that's going to be a problem in the future. And that's something that I have been very clear about, that I'm going to be open with any love interest so that there's no misunderstanding. Yeah.
What is it about having kids that, that puts you off?
It's so interesting because it's not, you see, it's everything but it's nothing at the same time, because I feel like any reason that I would come up with, like let's say I don't want to make the commitment of raising a child. If I wanted children, then that reason would not matter, because I've seen people who want to be mothers overcome any odds in their lives because they desire being a mother so much.
Yeah.
So it's not really about a particular reason. It's literally just as simple as I don't want. But the funny thing about it was, growing up I didn't think I had a choice, because isn't that what a woman is expected to be? You're expected to be a mother. Somewhere in your growth as a woman, it's expected that you will get married, hopefully, or if not, at least you'll have a couple of babies, or it's just something that's really expected. So I didn't think I had a choice. So it was up to me to be able to allow myself the space to acknowledge this feeling that I had and allow myself to make the choice.
And when you went to your parents, I'm pretty sure, because sometimes the assumption is if your parents are growing old, they just can't wait to meet their grandkids. And then you go to your parents with this, Dad, Mom, I don't want kids. What was that reaction like?
So for like the first 100 times, they thought I was joking. Like I had to have so many conversations with them for me to be like, I'm serious, because they just did not believe it, because what do you mean you don't want to have kids? And I could understand where they were coming from, because I do see them with my nieces and my nephew, and there's a lot of love and affection between them. So I could understand that they would want that with my own children. But the beautiful thing about my parents is, regardless of whether they understand my choices or not, they are so willing to respect them. And so eventually they've accepted it, even though there's a time my mom was like, I'm praying for you to still get kids. but now she's she's accepted it, and they're just like, as long as you're happy,
Are you not scared of growing up lonely? Because children are supposed to fill in that
Yeah.
space.
First of all, for me, that's not a good enough reason to have a child, because you can't even be sure, because there are so many parents who have kids and their relationships break down and they're not there for them.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee of that. But also, for me, it's not worth it to bring an innocent life into this planet just so that a time will reach that I can rely on them. I would hope to set up my life in a way that I would be able to be taken care of, even if it means going to a home. And I know people have asked me that, like, don't you feel like, you need family around to take care of you, people who are obligated to take care of you?
Yes.
Not necessarily. I may or may not get to my old age, and if I do, I hope that I will be able to set myself up so that there are options that are available to me.
And I'm sure you belong to a particular circle of friends. Huh?
Yes.
Have you been sidelined by some because they feel like your opinion is just way too out of this world?
The ones who would have sidelined me are not really my friends. I tend to pick my friends very, very, very carefully, because I like people who are open-minded, and even though we don't agree, can understand that I'm a different person, and there's respect, there's mutual respect, and just tolerance for each other's opinions. So my circle of friends is very supportive of me, and many of them have children. I'm so happy to enjoy and celebrate their choices, and they do the same for me.
And when you interact with your nephew and your nieces, don't you ever feel sometimes like, do you ever get mixed reactions sometimes and be like, I don't want kids, but this one can make me have kids? Do you get those mixed reactions?
No, I really don't. No.
Would you ever consider adopting a kid?
I've thought about that. I don't know if I'd make the investment to be the parent of a kid.
Yeah.
But if I'm financially able to help support, let's say, a less fortunate child in education, pay for their school fees or their lifestyle or whatever, that could be something I'm interested in. Or even mentoring young people, maybe being a figure of mentorship in a young person's life. But I don't think I would take on the responsibility of an adopted, like a mother.
And obviously such statements do not come without criticism. What are some of the most, or what are the most weird things you've heard about yourself?
There were people who said that I have thrown many babies in the river, and that's why I'm talking like this. There was one person who called me a degenerate, but that I like the word, because it's someone who doesn't conform.
Yes.
And I was like, that's perfect. But he meant it as an insult. There are those who called me promiscuous, who said I don't have morals, I must be psychotic, mentally unstable. Like, I have been called all kinds of things. Yes, a prostitute. So I brushed it off, because I was like, it's a bit ridiculous. I wish people could just understand that just because I take a certain stance doesn't mean that I'm attacking.
Do those kind of words get to you?
Initially, I was just very surprised, because when I did the TV interview and I got all the backlash, I went online and people had really tagged me on different things. And so I was just getting all these notifications. So I go and I look around and I see all these comments and insults and stuff.
Yeah.
And at first I was just taken aback, because I'm like, I've never gotten this level of insults in my life.
Yes.
The thing that baffles me about this country sometimes is that we throw words around without understanding the full meaning of them. And if we were to look at the meaning of being a feminist, it's literally someone who just wants equality for all the genders, And so that means that all I want is the opportunity to choose for myself. I feel like a dude would be able to say the same thing, like he doesn't want kids, and he wouldn't get the same backlash as a woman would. And that's all. I will own that word feminist 100%, by the way, and I don't, it's okay.
What would you like to tell women out there who share the same sentiments as you are, but they are really scared of coming out?
Yeah. I feel like own your truth. I'm hoping that at the very least, having conversations like this will be able to show that there are different opinions, and so people will be more willing to hear a differing opinion. But then I also understand that for there to be change in the society, sometimes someone has to stand up and go against the grain. And so I would encourage, if you feel like speaking your truth, just stand up and do it. It might be hard and it might be painful at times, but I feel like it's for the better, especially for the younger generations that are coming, to show that we as women have the power to create the lives that we want. We do not have to conform to one idea of what a woman should be. We can take our power and just, make our own lives for ourselves.